Okay. Kick it off.
Okay, Andy. Great to meet you. Tell me a little bit about your background.
Sure. My background. Long story short, 38 years old, live in Aspen, Colorado. Been here 4.5 years. Before that, spent 10 years in New York City. Before that, 2 years in Vail. And then before that, I was a college kid and growing up on the East Coast. Started skiing at the age of 3. Professionally, done everything from wash dishes, sell skis and boots, Beaver Creek Village, to trading financial markets at a bank, to selling heli skiing and launching a business called Heli in 2016, which has grown to now vertically integrate and start acquiring physical operations like Great Canadian Heli Skiing up in Canada and Silverton Mountain in Silverton, Colorado.
And that was back in September. You got Silverton Mountain.
Yeah, it was just about a month ago.
Very
We just
exciting.
closed. Yeah.
I've never skied there, but it looks kind of dangerous. Tell me a little bit about the terrain up there.
Well, dangerous is relative, right? It is an experts only ski area. It is not a ski resort. That's something that I really appreciate about how Aaron and Jen Brill built the business. The guided mountain experience involves a single double chairlift, which takes you to basically a saddle or ridge from where you can hike to a number of different zones to ski, all of which are some of the best terrain in the lower 48. World-class skiing, super steep, a lot of exposure, but it's the snowiest part of Colorado, so tend to get some pretty good snow.
And now the ownership group it's just you and Brock?
Brock and I are the core partners, but we are backed by a group of private investors.
And they're based here or just all over the place?
All over.
All over.
Yeah,
Okay.
handful of passionate skiers and savvy investors.
Good. So now that you own Silverton Mountain, what's the first step, you think?
First step is building relationships. That's with the team. So what was very important to us, as well as to Aaron and Jen, is that we maintained employment of all their staff and guides. And that's really critical because they have the most expertise and knowledge of the mountain, the terrain, the business, the community of guests, etc. So really fortifying relationships and trust with that group of people, and then beyond that with the town of Silverton. It's a very special community. It's not a major city, much rather. It's a small mountain town with about 880 full-time year-round residents. So there's a very important relationship between the town and the mountain, with the mountain being a big part of the local economy, especially in the winter. So working very closely with the community will be very important to us as we grow the business.
It's a small operation, so what's the biggest challenge of a small operation like that, do you think?
Operations like this are dependent on people. In this case, guides. So I'm not saying that guides are challenging, but what's important, or the most important thing, is to work with people and build those relationships. So what else would be challenging? I mean, I don't know. We're super confident that we can grow with the team, step into the existing format of the business, and the next steps will become very clear to us as to how we evolve it from here.
One of the things I was wondering about was what kind of skier numbers do you need to keep it viable? I mean, around here, Snowmass, a big day is 11,000 skiers. Down there, I mean, it's probably going to be a lot less than that, obviously. What do you know any kind of numbers? Can you share any kind of numbers with us?
I'll keep it, more or less vague because it's private and confidential information about, what our official numbers are. But to your point, this is not a ski resort. This is not an Aspen or Vail or, where we're doing 10,000 skier visits in an afternoon. We can operate with much lower volume, with an elevated ski experience, which is in most cases more expensive with the guiding, and also with our heli ski business.
I was down there a couple weeks ago. Do you envision a more sort of conventional kind of base area?
There's nothing conventional about Silverton, and I don't think there ever will be. Do we envision adding to the base area experience? Absolutely. But anything that we do will be with the idea of accentuating the sole skier raw experience. So anything we'll do will be on brand, understated, and with utility in mind for guests and for guides. What that may look like would be maybe a warming hut, or fixed structure where there's a fire and places you can sit down and put your boots on in the morning when it's 2 degrees at 7 in the morning. A place where you can buy a coffee and a breakfast burrito, but you're not going to have Beaver Creek Village, so to speak.
How much development is allowed under the permit at the base area? Do you have those kind of numbers?
I do have those numbers. There is some limited development potential that we're aware of, but it's not a priority for us to explore in the near term. When I say near term, 3 to 5 years.
Okay. I noticed when I was there, all the buses at the base. Do you guys actually use those?
The vast majority of them. Some are, since last winter have retired, and we'll probably repurpose those into either storage or, you may know that we do our demo avalanche safety gear and ski gear out of another bus. So we'll be resourceful and we'll put them to use. They're pretty cool, so make sure they're out of the way.
Yeah, it's just down there. Like I said, what's going on with lodging? Obviously, there's no lodging at the resort or at the ski area. Excuse me. You've got a building on Green Street, from what I read. What's the plan there?
So, good question. So there's definitely a shortage of beds in the town of Silverton. There are a few other hotels of varying degrees of luxury. And as you said, we did also acquire 1069 Green Street, which is a 10,000 square foot building, historic building in town on Main Street. We need to renovate that, but the idea is we're going to look into turning that into some form of boutique hotel and F&B option that would be, either a standalone hospitality experience or option for guests in town, or packaged together with our skiing product, whether that's the guided lift access or the heli ski product.
When I was down there, I couldn't figure out quite where the second lift would be going. Is that much farther around to the left, to the I guess that would be north and east?
So you've ridden the chairlift before?
I haven't ridden the chairlift, but I've been there.
Okay, so do you know where the chairlift is?
Yeah.
Basically, it takes you up the near ridge of basically a large box canyon, and then you can ski off the other side, and the contemplated second lift would be up the far ridge of the box canyon.
I know where that is.
Yeah.
The road up there.
The road, yeah.
Yeah, my car didn't like it.
Yeah, what kind of car you got?
I got a Forester.
Okay.
Are there any plans there? I'm guessing they're not, because in winter it's a different kind of road. It's probably much nicer, more packed with snow and flatter. But are there any plans in your future to do something with the road?
So that's not our road or our responsibility, in that we're fortunate enough to benefit from CDOT taking care of plowing that in the winter.
Right.
It is a dirt road, as you know, in the summer, but in the winter, whether it's paved or dirt, it's going to be covered in snow. So the most important thing is that there's enough plowing so that vehicles can get up to the ski area.
Yeah. What's your favorite run at Silverton?
There's a run called Grande, which is kind of one of our marquee heli runs. It's kind of your iconic big couloir run. So I would say that's, if I had to pick one, that on a deep day would be one of my favorites.
Anything else you want to share with us?
Yeah, I would really love if my co-founder Brock Strasburger and business partner could be here. He's one of my best friends. He was born and raised in Aspen. He's actually, funnily enough, based in New York. But he's back and forth between Aspen and Colorado and New York quite a bit. But none of this would be possible without his support and loyalty, as well as the rest of the heli team, all of our investors. Thanks to the Silverton team, Silverton community, who have been so welcoming and energetic about this announcement and transition. And we're super stoked. I think the most important thing we want is for people in town and in the ski industry to know who we are, which is, at the end of the day, just passionate skiers ourselves. And we want to celebrate, the mountain experience as it exists today and continue to evolve it as it naturally does.